So this is Indiegogo. I have an account in both Kickstarter and Indiegogo, backed a couple of projects in Kickstarter mainly. So if you log in, you go to My Campaigns. You go to starting, yeah, obviously you need to start your campaign. So what they have is, because they want some kind of quality, they have some initial questions and things that will guide you through the onboarding process to start what you want to do. So who are you raising money for, individual or business or non-profit? This comes as an answer to, I think, was it Margarita that asked about a lot of people? So let's say individual in this case, where are you located? Greece. Where is your bank? So that's the third, the third question is where your bank is. And the reason they do that is because they're not allowed to do that in every single country in the world. There's a limit towards, there's a legal limit which countries can participate in crowdfunding campaigns. So in our case, Greece has been recently added in these campaigns for setting up your own campaign, not for participating. And it also allows for it adjusts the currency that you're looking for. The project will be able to raise funds in euro, funds sent to bank accounts located outside the US, because Indiegogo is a US company. I have a 25 euro transaction fee. So start my campaign. Reserved funds. So refunds are a reality of every campaign. They come off, and because this problem has been exacerbated because of the supply chain, they have it now. They didn't have that before. They have it now in the beginning. Sometimes backers make mistakes on their contribution or simply change their minds. Once your campaign raises 1,000, if you're in your chosen currency, 5% will automatically be held in reserve. So what they do is that they make sure that if something happens, some money are held in reserve in order to cover this kind of refunds if required. Reserve funds will help you process refund requests quickly and easily. And the way this works is sort of an escrow process, in the sense that somebody adds money to the campaign and some part of it stays in limbo in the digital space, so it can be quickly refunded if necessary. It will also be used to cover any lost chargebacks filled by your backers. There's more details here. Got it? So we move forward. Basics. Campaign title. Let's say in-pipe hydropower for the masses. It's something I had in my mind for a long time. I'm building it now. Campaign tagline. Provide a short description that best describes your campaign for your audience. Creating plans for an in-pipe hydro power device producing energy from your from irrigation and irrigation. Actually, 1/. Okay. This is a very bad campaign tagline. And the reason it's a bad campaign tagline is because it has too many words that people may not be able to understand. In-pipe, okay, hydropower makes sense. Irrigation and irrigation might not make sense to some people. So it should have been simpler. Now you need an image. It gives you the dimensions, the recommended resolution. It's always best to follow the recommended resolution. And the reason is because these kind of platforms are optimized for this kind of image dimension, not only for the web interface, but also when somebody visits the campaign from mobile. The best chance you have is give them the exact resolution that they request, because it will make it much easier for you to have a campaign that shows beautifully in every single platform. So you upload an image here, location, choose the location where you're running the campaign. This location will be visible on your campaign page for your audience to see. Chris. Thessaloniki, category. Select your category. This is very important as it really has to do with the kind of audience you want to attract, unless taking aside all the people that you attract yourself. I mean, from your own campaigns in social media and so on and so forth, you're going to target a particular persona and drive them towards your crowdfunding page. But the crowdfunding platforms have visitors from all over the world. Some of them are interested in particular subjects, so they might be a kind of audience that is led to your own campaign without you knowing it. So selecting a category is very important. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if what I'm doing is tech-oriented, I would probably go here. But because what I'm doing has to do with the environment, and I want people that are interested in the environment to see it, I would maybe choose this kind of community project, even if it's not one. Let's say in my case, I choose tech people here. Is there a category you didn't see that would better describe your project? You could insert something here. It might not make a lot of sense for the platform, but it might make a lot of sense in terms of people, because they will usually, these kind of words that you will insert here, they add them as tags to your product. So if somebody is searching, it might make search engine optimization much more easier. Let's say here, hydropower, which is something common for what I'm doing. Product savings. If you are funding the creation of a hardware product, in my case it's a hardware product, please select your current stage of product development below to help bikers understand how far along your product is in the development cycle. So, mine is in a prototype stage. Once you select the stage, you get more things like projects on prototype stage must be a working version of the physical product that successfully performs core function and feature as described. So in my campaign, the short requirements, it also helps me create my campaign in a way that's meaningful. It says 1 video and 3 or more photos that clearly demonstrate you have a working prototype. So if my prototype is not already working, then I would have to go back to a concept, and this would allow me to use 3D renders and make things visible in that way. But in a prototype, you need a video, you need a video of the product, you need 3 or more photos of the product working, and a story information that describes the key features and functionality of the physical prototype. This is because it's leading towards a product, so you need to understand, people that are backing, you need to understand what are they paying for. It must be very clear. In terms of a concept, things are more loose. In terms of production, things are non-rendered photographic evidence, 3D renderings are not allowed, digital mockups are not accessible. So depending on what type of current stage you're picking up, and there's some different things you must pay attention to. The thing is that Indigo will review the material provided for the campaign, and it will make a decision on whether you are fulfilling the limitations or the requirements of the stage you are in. So you have to be careful with that. Now, tags. Enter a few tags. Hydropower. What else? Energy. Renewables. Energy. Let's take this one. Of course, Kickstarter has its own you can see here it has its own tags from previous campaigns. So you can go through them and see if there's something that's relevant to what you do. It's always better to pick keywords that are there, because it will, when somebody is looking for something, it will put you in the same kind of matrix with all the others, so you will be more easily identifiable. I'm a first-time founder, let's say. What else? Let's go to it. Do we have something in energy? No. Anyway, nothing else. Hydro, power, energy. Okay. Are there any times you didn't see that you would better? Okay, so these ones, sorry, these are the ones that they have, and these ones are the ones that I'm creating right now. Campaign duration. As we said before, 60 days the maximum. As we said before, 30 days are a common thing to do. And the reason is that you want to concentrate interest and engagement within 30 days so that it drives engagement early on in the campaign. So you save and continue. You need a pitch video or an image. It's always, always, always better to add a video, because in the video you will showcase how things work. You will showcase your own production process. You will showcase your passion about what you're making, so you can make people relate easily with what you're doing, and then wanting to be part of it or wanting to own what you do. Campaigns with videos, it says here, raise 2,000% more than campaigns without videos. This is crucial that you have a 2 to 3 minute video. Otherwise, if you don't have it, you can work with an image, but an image is not the best. Now, the videos are hosted in YouTube or Vimeo or wherever, and what you do here is that you add the URL. Some long time ago, a friend of mine overseas was making a crowdfunding campaign, and he asked me to do a video and help him out. I think, I don't know where it is. Let's see.
Now you can see how popular our speaker is.
Yeah. So, video. Where is it? I'm sure I had a video here. My video. All right, RSS hater. So I just to give you an example of a very bad video. Let me run this.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicholas. I am Greek.
Sorry, can you hear that? Can you hear the video?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right.
And again, solos, I'm still living and working in Greece. So here's my pitch for the RSSator project. The RSSator is going to be, with your support, a fully featured, free-for-all RSS aggregation service. I'm sure that many of you have used RSS aggregators for your blogs or your websites, either personally or professionally, and have gotten frustrated, as I am, with all the limitations that get out of these services. These limitations include features like things like you don't get all the features for the free version of the service, and some of them are quite important for what you're doing. You cannot tailor the content that you are being fed. Usually you are being fed all the content that comes out of the RSS feed, and most of the times it's not even relevant to what you want to present to your visitors. You cannot readily tie up the content that you present in your website or blog with your social media accounts like your Twitter or your Facebook page. And another limitation is that you cannot turn your RSS aggregators into money-making machines because, well, I haven't found any of the services that allows you to use an ad within the content that is presented. Well, the RSS aggregation service aims to lift all these limitations. And basically, that's the reason you should give us your support. Now, why should you support me doing it? Well, I'm a telecoms engineer. I've been working in R&D for the past 11 years. And if it's one thing I know, it's how to do something in a timely manner and up to standards. And this is exactly what I intend to do with the RSSator service. And with your help, I hope to bring you the service that you deserve. Well, thank you for listening. I'm available for comments, and I'll be happy to respond to any or questions that you might have. And of course, because my wife actually believes I can do that. Yeah, thank you.
So apparently, that was a disastrous video that led nowhere. I haven't seen that in years. So that's a video that has so many mistakes and such a bad video. It's static. There's no script. I didn't practice it enough. The video is crap. The lighting is bad. The words I'm using are wrong. I should have made it much more easier for people to understand. So this is an example of a very, 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 very bad video that you can. But let me just copy that.
The fireplace was a nice touch.
The what? The fireplace, yes.
Yeah.
That was the only nice touch. But anyway, you add the video, you create an image that is used as an overlay for your video, and this is because whenever you give out a URL from YouTube or Vimeo or what have you, it gives you a screenshot of your video at any given point, which, for instance, in this one, is a very bad point where I'm looking down, not even at the camera, everything is wrong. So create an image of your video and upload it here. Now, the story. A good thing about platform is because they want this kind of quality in terms of what you do, what you present, and the like, they give you all the details that you can use in order to present what you do. In this case, they suggest that you make a short summary where the contributors introduce yourself, briefly describe the campaign, explains the magnitude of what contributors will help you achieve, so your passion, the impact that you have, and you have to make it short and concise so that nobody gets bored. And what you need to do, what you need to get, the kind of impact, the risks. It's always important to make people understand that there are risks in what you do and what you will do to mitigate that. Other ways you can help, and so on. Now, once you describe everything, there's an FAQ section. The good thing in the FAQ section is that you can think of like George, for instance. George went out and showcased what he's doing to a lot of people. These people started asking questions. It's always good to note down the questions that people have for what you do. So when once you come to the FAQ section, you can create these kind of questions and answer them so that people don't ask you a lot of things. Especially it shows that you are proactive in terms of answering alleviating any kind of concerns they might have for your product and what you do and whether they will receive it or whether it's childproof, or it doesn't really matter. It depends on what you do, but it shows that you show your concern for what they might have to ask. So you add your questions. Let's add a question. Why would I buy that? You can create power, electricity for your house at the lowest cost possible. I don't know, something like that. So, haven't continued. Moving on. So you haven't created any perks. Now it's time to create the perks for your product. In terms of perks, as we said, you can have visible, the ones that people can actually claim now, or you can have invisible ones, that the perks that you need to process even further just to make sure that they make sense. So let's talk about the visible one. Let's say €1. Retail price €1, it's the same. The retail price will be higher. That's an amount that you want to collect from buyers who claim this perk. This amount. Okay, so you don't need that at this point. Title. Title of your perk. Get your name etched I think, on the product. Big the maximum. Get your name etched. Get your name on the product. So, included items, add the items included in this perk. Item could be physical, digital experience, or even just a thank you. Add an item. So, item name, name etching, I don't know. Do you have the options? No, I'm not offering any options for this item. Save item. Quantity, and here is where you decide on the quantity of the people that. So, for instance, this usually goes high. In this case, up to 10, and it's sort of an onboarding thing for people to just get on board with your campaign. At some point or another, usually what happens is people that get the first perk, which is the lowest cost perk, they monitor your campaign, and then at some point or another, some of them might even convert to somebody buying your product per se. So in description here, we add your name on the product to showcase our gratitude for your support. So be creative here. Just do things right. Do something that makes sense for people. George beforehand said that he basically printed the name of the backers on the back of the box, and this made sense to him.
Nikos?
Yep.
Is there a specific, let's say, depending on the type of product, service, whatever campaign, are there suggestions on the perks? So for example, if you have an actual product, it would make sense to tailor it by writing the name, just like what Yorgos suggested. But I don't know, is there a list of perks that have anybody done such analysis? What are the most promising perks per type of campaign? What works best?
I haven't seen an analysis, but I've seen that there are 83 research articles on crowdfunding campaigns, so I'm sure somebody has done it. The thing is that depending on what you do, you have to go through all the campaigns that everybody did, and the way you decide on your perks are A, relevant to what you do, and B, relevant to what people prefer in other similar campaigns. So if people prefer to have their names etched on the product, then you should do that. If people prefer, if somebody who was creative enough has done a miniature of the product as a keychain ring, for instance, you can do that. I've seen a campaign once that they downsized the product to make it a kid's toy, and they did that. So you just have to be creative, see what other successful campaigns have done, what kind of perks people prefer, I mean, apart from the product itself. And
Sorry, Yorgos is raising her hand.
Yeah.
Sorry about it. I had some customers in the shop. What I was going to say, it's called add-ons. You can always have add-ons to your product in Kickstarter. I'm not sure about Indiegogo. That you can, for example, say that if you buy that, you can have a t-shirt or you can have something else as something that it will be only given to them. For example, they are called add-ons, so you can always make something that it makes sense for your product and put it and people most of the times, as I have researched, is that not only they would buy your product, but also they would buy the add-ons. And what they have told us from Kickstarter is that add-ons sometimes always give much more money than the actual product.
Yeah, you're right about that. Depending on the product, some products are just very expensive, so they have a very, very limited amount of people that are able to buy them. But the fact that they are very innovative means that add-ons are a good way in for crowdfunders to be part of the journey. So in this case, add-ons are more important in a campaign than the actual product itself. So, but there is a strategy there. Campaigns are done for several reasons. One of the reasons is that some innovative companies or startups want to showcase what they're building. They know that probably there's not enough people to buy their product, but they know that within the audience in general, there are going to be some distributors, there are going to be some other companies that won't collaborate with them, and there are going to be people that are not retail customers. So add-ons are a way to fund the campaign, maybe sell a couple of products, but the cool thing about that is that it creates a buzz, and it goes to more and more people as you go along. So add-ons is a nice way to create a buzz early on with things that people can actually buy at a very low cost. Does this make sense? Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm creating an e-bike that costs $10,000. Obviously, you're not going to have that many people able to spend $10,000 in something that will be produced at some point in the future, but they might find it interesting enough to buy a t-shirt with that company, to buy a keychain or a miniature of that product, and this can create enough buzz for the campaign to go up in the trending campaigns. And in essence, reach even more people so that some of them might be able to pay 10,000 euros for a new product. So perks have a strategy per se. So my suggestion would be, obviously we're not going to create many perks here, but my suggestion would be to go through campaigns that are of similar nature and try to see what perks resonated with the public that they were targeting. And why? Go through the, as you've seen in Wordis, Yorgos campaign, there was a community part. This is where people discuss between them about the product or the offering or the service, it doesn't really matter. But they also discuss with the campaign creator. So this is also a good source of information for you in terms of what they like and what they don't. So you create a perk, you can have a limit in the numbers, let's say 10, or you can leave it unlimited. The estimated delivery date, the good thing about perks is that apart from your product, that might be a production process that might take 3 or 6 months or something like that. For less complex products like a keychain, a badge, a t-shirt, or what have you, doesn't really matter. The estimated date of delivery can be much earlier than the product itself. So this allows you to get backers that might get it now to see whether you deliver or not, And even outside the campaign, they will be reminded once they receive the t-shirt that, hey, the product is there. You can go to my website now and buy it. It's a good way to keep people engaged over a period of time, and it's a good way to structure your perks in a way that you send out things incrementally. So let's say 2nd of 2023, shipping. This perk does not contain items that need to be shipped, but of course it could. And if it could, then you have to define where you're shipping, because this limits the people that would be interested in that. Let's say European Union in our case, and let's say that shipping it's, I don't know, let's say €1. But the thing with shipping fee is because it's paid extra, because it's paid extra, you have to make sure that the countries, the shipping locations that you cover, in this case the European Union, you need to know what would be the worst case scenario for your shipping fee. And in that case, you either have to add more locations. So let's say, for instance, here I would add, just to give you an example, right? I would add Greece, and the shipping cost would be, let's say, €1. And then I would add another country like the United Kingdom, and then I would have already have the information to say, okay, in this case it costs €5 to ship, and on and on and on. And the thing here is that you need to do your homework. If you don't do your homework in terms of costs, then this can bite you in the heels, and it can create costs that you have not foreseen, and it could derail your campaign completely. Yorgos mentioned that he had to build different products for different languages and so on. But the cost for shipping something to Italy, and the cost for shipping something to Germany, and the cost for shipping something to I don't know where, it's quite different. So you need to be aware of that.
For shipping, you have to think that also if you put the shipping right now, you have to think that you are obligated in the percentage that you would be paid in the total percentage. So there are companies that you can put the perks later on. So people would have their shipping calculated after the campaign ends. So you would not have to pay the 15% on the Indiegogo or in the Kickstarter. Or if you still want to put the price of the shipping, you have to think that it will be a 15% deducted from the companies. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. If you insert a monetary value, that always depends on the policy of the platform. So if you insert a monetary value for shipping, some platforms consider it a separate cost and they do not charge it. So when somebody pays through the platform for your product or your perk or what have you, they deduct the shipping cost and they only charge a percentage, commission percentage on the actual value of the perk. Some of them don't do that. They do it for the overall cost, so you need to be aware of that. And some of them, as George said, allow you to put in the shipping cost afterwards, after the end of the campaign, depending on where the people are coming from. So you need to be very aware of that. So we created our first perk here, and it gives you the different types of perks in Indiegogo. Standard perks are the main products or incentives that are accessible from the campaign page. Secret perks are only accessible to backers through their unique link. What this means that you are provided with a link that you can share with particular people who become your backers, and they have access to perks that only they have access to, nobody else. Usually what happens is that you take advantage of scarcity as a model that there's only 3 of them. So take this link, you are the only one who can get it. If you don't use it, nobody will get it. So, and add-on perks is what George said before, are accessories or upgrades that can be linked to other perks and are available to backers when checking out. So this takes, you need to study, each platform has its own process, and you need to be aware of that. And of course, you can create new perks and so on. Just to get you into an example of perks, let me renewable. Type a word that's relevant to what I do. And let's go to off-grid renewable water and power system. That's very relevant to what I do. Not a successful campaign. So because it's not a successful campaign, to be honest, I'm not going to go through that because I don't know why it failed. So I'm going to go to a successful campaign in the field. Modular power station. So 750% more than the goal. So here's the video. Let's see what kind of perks they have. So select a perk. The first one, 1,149 USD. Estimated shipping September 29, 9 claims, shipped to America and so on. Typically, that's what they do. Companies, this is what they do. They run a campaign for something at an extremely discounted price, which is only accessible via the campaign in Indiegogo, Kickstarter, whatever. And the idea here is that somebody will see it, a distributor will see it, not a user per se. Anyway, so feature, it's one. Now they drop it, right? Rankud Energy Bar, so it's part of what they do, 300 euros. Another bundle and so on.
Can I say also something?
Yep, sure.
Everything that you do it in the beginning. So you have to think everything in the beginning. After you cannot add any more perks or anything. You can sometimes add some add-ons, but only that. So when you launch your campaign, you cannot add any more perks.
Yeah, only when a campaign is extended, and that's only relevant to certain platforms, not every platform allow an extension of a campaign. Another one, successful again. Very expensive perks, so they are aiming for a very particular audience, and so on. So you go through the campaigns that are relevant to you, and you find what works and what doesn't. One other thing that you can do is that you can actually contact the people that have run the campaign, that it's relevant to what you're doing, but it's not the same product and it's not in the same market. Maybe it's in the same market, but not the same product. And I had the opportunity to talk with a couple of them when I was doing something in Product Hunt, and they were very open in telling you what worked, what didn't, and giving you advice and helping you out in the process. So do that. Don't be afraid to reach out and talk with somebody else. So we've done that, and then it's legal first name, the details, email address, verifying the email address, campaign theme, all the members can be invited, and they can edit full editing rights on the campaign, the team owner, the role, and so on and so forth. So this would be, the most important part, as far as I'm concerned, is to be able to produce a video that's meaningful and of high quality, and to identify the perks that would be relevant to the audience you are targeting. So if you do these two things right, then as far as your campaign on this website, you would be okay. The rest of it is entirely up to you. The kind of social media marketing that you will do, the landing page, creating an emailing list, there's a bunch of things that you have to do outside the platform. So again, I'm coming back to the question whether a crowdfunding campaign is right for you. Do you have the time and the energy and the minimal cost, because they're not that expensive, to do a crowdfunding campaign? If your answer is yes, then by all means go for it. It's not that difficult to set up a campaign. And by saying that, save the campaign, I will delete afterwards. And by saying that, I mean that, of course, as George said, you need people to help you out and to do everything right, but there's a guideline, or there's a blueprint on how you do a crowdfunding campaign. And if you follow that to the T and be creative enough, then you have all the chances in the world in making a successful campaign and funding what you do. I think that's all from my side. So if there's any question, I can help out. I've done crowdfunding campaigns, not actually crowdfunding, but I did for digital products. It's not good to do that in Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and all these kind of campaigns. Product Hunt is the campaign, so I've done that in Product Hunt. I wasn't really successful because I wasn't aiming for success, but I was aiming for SEO, I mean driving traffic back to my website and people taking notice. And I actually had to, yesterday on Friday, I had a meeting with the Association of Industries of Greece because I had something on product and they found it. So the serendipity part of it is quite, and you cannot foresee it. It's just, it's a good thing to get things out there, and you never know what's going to happen. That's it from my side.